might be using 2 chairs today, so if you want to grab that, you can as well. Okay, so just get the heart rate up a little bit, get our body a little bit warmer, and move our joints a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to march in the spot for a couple of minutes. Okay, so still good posture. It's just standing a little bit taller. Okay, and then get your shoulders a little bit wider apart. Okay, so, and then still be able to take a deep breath in, get a deep breath out. Okay, so even if we're standing tall, we don't want to be all tensed up. So practice standing a little taller, okay, and a little bit wider apart. Okay, and just deep breath in. Okay, and a deep breath out. Okay, slowly, you can just have a bigger movement when you feel comfortable. Okay, still practice the deep breathing. Okay, so just focus on the spot for now while I let more people in. Okay, so if you feel comfortable, we're also going to be moved into joints a little bit, start with the neck. If you do need to stop marching, if you need to hold on something, please feel free to do so. Okay, so always safety first. Okay, so we are just going to be tucking our chin slightly down. Okay, if anything makes you feel dizzy or uncomfortable, don't feel pressured in doing that. Okay, just do what we can. Okay, just do the best of the ability. Okay, and then go left and right a little bit. So just look slightly to one side. Okay, still practicing good posture as we do so. Okay, and now we're going to move the shoulders along the rest of the spine. So we're just going to be pulling the shoulders up, back, down, and forward. Okay, so as you pull your shoulders back, you can arch your back a little bit. Okay, and as you bring your shoulders down and forward, around your back a little bit as well. Okay, so let's just keep going for a little bit. Okay, so move your shoulders, bring your spine along for the right. Okay, and maybe a couple of times opposite direction. Good. Okay, and same idea, would it turn side to side a little bit? Okay, so moving your shoulders, okay, and once again, you can't bring your spine along for the right. Feel free to stop moving your feet. So once again, if you, it is actually easier if you're not watching the same time. Okay, but just turn side to side. Good. Okay, a little bit of, actually, let's move our arms first. Okay, so let's bring arms one side up, forward, one side back, okay, and just kind of alternate. Okay, and slowly just exaggerate the motion a little bit. So bring arms a little higher up, bring arms a little further back. Okay, slowly extend the arms. Okay, slowly bring arms up to the ceiling. Okay, kind of similar idea, but more side bending for the spine. Okay, so we're just going to reach up, breathing in. If you can, try to press your palm to the ceiling as well, so engage the muscles at the back of the hand, a little bit of forearm as well. Okay, so imagine pressing something up, breathing in. You can side bend a little bit for the spine. Okay, so they almost reach across now, so try to press a little bit more sideways. Okay, once again, you feel free to stop moving your feet if that's more comfortable for you. Okay, and deep breathing in as we kind of press upwards. Okay, lasting for a second. Okay, let's try to open up the chest and move our shoulders forward and back. Okay, so we're going to pull our fingers, arms back, arms straight. Okay, try to point your fingers back as well. Okay, so once again, use your muscle at the back of the arm. Okay, open, maybe feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of the arm, front of the chest. As you breathe out, just kind of give yourself a big hug. Try to push the shoulders forward almost. Okay, as you kind of give yourself a hug. Okay, and continue while I let more people in. Okay, you just 3 to 5 times at your own pace. Okay, and shaking out. Okay, a little bit of arm circle. Okay, we're gonna focus on the elbows. Okay, and we're just gonna draw circles in front of the body. Okay, so imagine just draw a circle to the elbows. Okay, slowly see if you can bring your shoulders, the elbow a little bit more in front of you. Shoulder height or just the kind of nose level is fine. Okay, bring your elbows out. Okay, and then, okay, so you're just drawing a circle, not doesn't have to be very high up. Okay, but try to draw a circle. Okay, when you get this motion there, see if you can extend your arm out. Imagine you're pulling a sword out on the side, on the back. Okay, and so we're kind of moving the elbows and the shoulders at the same time. Okay, so you're just drawing a sword out from the back. Okay, if you want, you can alternate, change direction. So you're putting a sword back. Okay, and then bring the elbows towards the middle of the circle, of your chest, I mean. Okay, so just repeat. Okay, you can go at your own pace. Okay, and let's repeat on the same thing on the other side. Okay, so you can start off with just the elbow circle, I guess you can call this. Okay, when you get used to this motion, you can see if you can incorporate your elbows into the swirl. Okay, so we want to try to get your elbows a little bit more in front of your chest. Okay, so you can see how that covers the logo in the front of my chest. And you can always switch direction. So putting the sword back. Okay, still breathe in and out. Okay, it's shaking it out. Okay, a little bit more rotation. Okay, you're gonna have the arms a little higher up. Okay, try to point your thumbs back. Okay, and then point your get your elbows, hand into your armpits. Let's see if you can keep your elbows still. So we're not rounding forward so much. Stay tall. Okay, just go to your own limit. Okay, so you probably feel a little bit of a lock here. You just go to your own limit. Okay, when you feel comfortable, we can extend the arm as well. So we'll reach in, extend the arm out. Okay, so palm says, okay, and coming back. Okay, so you're still moving your kind of rotation of the shoulders, along the elbows extending, and you can always do the opposite as well. Okay, once again, just go to your own ability. Okay, and let's just draw a big circle to the wrist. Okay, so we're still kind of moving our feet somewhat. Okay, we're still trying to get our body a little warmer, get our heart pumping a little bit faster. Okay, hands, we're still opening and closing. Okay, maybe open and close the tips of our fingers, including the thumbs. Okay, and open and closing side to side. Okay, and then just wiggle all the feet. Okay, shaking out. Okay, so let's move the hips a little bit more. Okay, so we might just maybe exaggerate the motion a little bit. Once again, use as much support as you need. Okay, we're going to go in a half circle, so we're going to lift the leg up a little bit and bring out. Okay, so feel free to move, grab as many chairs as you need. Okay, so just lift and a little bit off to the side. So half a circle out. Feel free to change the directions as well. So you can start off from the outside and bring them in. You can keep it in the same side, or if you want, you can alternate between the two. Okay, a little bit of a circle. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go sideways. So we're just going to kick our leg out a little bit to the side. Okay, feeling a little bit muscle on the side of the hips. Okay, now we're going to kick backwards a little bit. Okay, or you can just think of touching the floor behind you. If that's easy to control. Okay, but try to imagine squeezing your butt, even if you're touching the floor, try to reach a little further back. Okay, once again, feeling our butt muscle kind of tighten a little bit. Okay, and now let's kind of bend and extend the knees a little bit, just to lubricate the knee joints. Okay, just go bend as much as you feel comfortable. Okay, let's move the ankle joints a little bit and the foot. Okay, so we are just going to rock back and forth on our feet. Okay, when you feel comfortable, see you can go a little bit higher on your toes and then pull your toes up a little higher maybe. Good. Okay, a little bit side to side rocking of the shifting the weight. Okay, a little bit of rotation of the hips and the legs. Okay, and let's just draw a couple of ankle circles. Okay, if you want, you can use the ground to help you draw a bigger circle. Okay, once again, do what is comfortable for you. Okay, same thing on the other side when you're ready. Okay, so if you have the toes on the ground, you can use it to lightly kind of drag your foot forward, push it out to the side, bring it back, bring it inwards. So you can use the ground to help you stretch out your ankles a little bit more. Okay, toes, kind of just wiggle your toes a little bit inside the shoes or barefoot. Okay, and try to lift your toes up while keeping the foot on the ground. Okay, see if you can spread your toes apart a little bit. It can be difficult to do, but let's do our best. Good. Okay, last one, let's just move the hips a little bit more. Okay, so you can just do a hip circles first. Okay, so toes kind of pointing forward. I'm just going to drive the hips kind of to the back, to the side, forward, side. Okay, so exaggerate the movement a little bit. Okay, we're gonna exaggerate the backwards one, so keeping your knees pretty much straight. You're gonna push the butts back, okay, until you feel a little bit of a stretch behind your knees, behind your thighs. Okay, and you can go back and forth a few times, use as much support as you need. Okay, feet a little bit slightly wider than hip width apart, so we kind of shoulder width apart. Same idea, pushing your butt back, but this time bending your knees a little bit. Okay, so knees still kind of just straight rather as still pointing straight up. Okay, but your knees still bend, your butt is still sticking backwards. Okay, so now let's sit on a very tall bar stool. Okay, so still push your butt back. Okay, but you're sitting on a tall bar stool now. Okay, coming back up. Okay, as you stand up, just try to stand as tall as you feel comfortable. If you need pain, don't go down too low for now. Okay, just sit in a tall bar stool. Okay, feet are flat on the ground. Your knees is still always tracking over the kind of middle of the foot. Okay, so if you draw a straight line down, your knees is over your foot. Okay, so this will be inwards, this will be out. Okay, so roughly your knees are over your toes. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, so today we're going to go into the squatting movements. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit harder than these. I'm going to show the standard version, and then there's the easier version. So we won't go that slow today. Okay, but kind of like what we did in the warm up. Today we're going to just try it. We do it. If you want, you can do it with less of the hand support if you want, or you can hold in a chair as well. Okay, so feet, so let's move front. Okay, when you practice just sitting up and down. Okay, so that's a movement that we do need to do every day to go to the bathroom, to go to the sitting up and down, things like that. And this is not an ability we don't want to lose as we get older. Okay, so feet still will be a little bit wider than hip width apart. For some people, it could be more narrow, some people more wide, depends on the shape of the hips. Okay, toes maybe slightly pointing forward, but once again, that kind of depends on the shape of the hips a little bit. Okay, so we're still pushing our butt back, okay, and we are just imagine sitting there. The goal is just to get a touch the chair and then come back up. Okay, so if you do need the hand support, you can, so you can still have two chairs, okay, and sitting down, okay, and sitting back up. Okay, so ideally we can do it without the use of our hands. Okay, so we're kind of breathing in. So when we're still pushing our butts back, okay, if you want to make it a little harder, you can pause a little bit at the bottom and come back up. Okay, so let's do about 6 to 15 times. Okay, so I think I'm somewhere around 7 for myself. Okay, you don't have to do the same number as me. Okay, you don't have to do the same height as me. Okay, or same depth rather, but just go to your own ability. Kind of pay attention to what your body is doing. Okay, so my back, I'm leaning for a little bit. My back is kind of in a straight line. Okay, so I'm somewhere around 10. Okay, 11. 12. Okay, if you do need to sit down in the middle, feel free to do so, but if you can, see if you can maybe hover a little bit or lightly touch. So I'm gonna, I think I'm 13, 14, 15. Okay, so feel free to, you can stop at any point. Okay, just you can even go a little more if you feel like it's really easy for you. For some people, they might have to hold a weight in front, even like a back bar or something like that, just to have enough kind of stress on the body to get our legs to adapt or to get stronger. Okay, so primarily you kind of felt it in the thighs, okay, and maybe a little bit on the side of the hips, a little bit of the butt as well. Okay, so that's the up and down movement of the lower body. We're gonna do the same thing, but with our arms now. Okay, so we can grab a band. If you have a dumbbell, you can do the same thing as well. Okay, so depending on how long your band is, you can either just step on one end of the tail, like so. Okay, if your band is very short, you might have to be doing it sitting down and wrapping it down underneath the thighs. Okay, both works. Okay, but we just need to anchor the band down kind of somewhere in the floor or on the thighs. Okay, and then we're pressing upwards. Okay, so last week we did the kind of holding down. Okay, this week we do the opposite. We practice pushing upwards. Okay, so as usual, when you do anything in your upper body, good posture first. Okay, so you will stand a little bit taller, shoulders a little bit wider, and naturally that solves most of the problems that people will encounter. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the band just kind of roughly here. Okay, you can lightly have tension in the rest of the body. Okay, so you don't want to be kind of pressing all loose like this. Okay, so you can lightly pull your thighs back. Okay, you can lightly kind of clench your fist on the other side. Okay, so take a breath in. Okay, and pressing up. Okay, and once again, start off lower first. For some people, you can do the opposite too. So some people might be easier to breathe in as you reach up. Okay, breathe out as you come back. Okay, that's actually stabilize the spine a little bit more because as you have more air in the spine as you press up. Okay, if your shoulders feels comfortable, slowly see if you can maybe reach a little high up. Okay, if your shoulders do have problems, don't overdo it. Okay, so once again, we're aiming for 6 to 15 times of a little bit of a challenge. So I think I'm roughly at 7 right now. Okay, primarily I feel my shoulders working with a little bit of top of the shoulders. I can feel my back tensing up a little bit because I'm only doing this on one side. Okay, once again, you can stop at any point. Okay, so we just want to start when you feel like I can at most do about 2 to 3 more. I can feel my muscles a little tight. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I can feel my shoulders tight. How many more times can I do? I probably feel like I can maybe do 2 to 3 more. Okay, that's a good time to stop. Okay, shake it out. Important thing is you're not just, your elbows is not kind of up like this. The elbows is relatively pointing downwards. Okay, so your fist is over your elbows and your elbows is roughly over your shoulders. Okay, shaking it off. Okay, and then we can repeat on the other side. Okay, when you're ready. Okay, so take as long as you need. Okay, but same reminders. Okay, so good posture, which means a little bit taller and a little bit wider. Okay, so start off and then tense up the rest of the body as you press up. Okay, elbows is kind of relatively pointing somewhere towards the ground. Okay, go your own pace. As long as it's under control, so I'm not kind of jerking up and I'm not letting the band kind of slap my arm down. I'm controlling it even on the way down. Okay, and also pay attention to what your spine is doing. Okay, so for some people, your shoulders are a little tight, you almost start to arch back or kind of like this. See if you can keep like a relatively what we call neutral posture. Okay, so which means my ears is over my shoulders and my shoulders over my hips. So rather you not go as high if your shoulders doesn't allow it. Okay, so my spine there's still a curve to it, but I'm not trying to arch back while I press up. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep a tall posture once again. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, so once again, we do need to repeat each exercise like multiple times, kind of for the week or even within one day to get some benefit. Okay, so when you go back to the sitting up and down, okay, but we're going to make this a little bit more challenging because I think for shoulder height, it should be okay for most people. If you find that the previous version was difficult already, just keep doing the what we did before. Okay, so just a couple of ways. So if you found it was hard before already, just keep doing the sit up and down. If you want to make it slightly more challenging, pause a little bit at the bottom. Okay, and also try to stand a little bit faster. Okay, so if you find your knees have problems before, you don't want to push it too hard, just keep doing this. Okay, but maybe pause a little bit at the bottom, go a little bit faster on the way up as well. Okay, so for those of us who want to make it a little more challenging, we're going to change do it slightly different. Okay, so you can still have one chair in front, one chair back for balance. Okay, but what we're going to do is that instead of sitting straight down like this, okay, I'm going to put one shift sideways a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to remove this chair. That's confusing. Okay, but just imagine I'm still have something in front for support. Okay, so let's see. Maybe I should do it this way. Okay, so I'm just standing a little bit off to one side. Okay, and I have 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Okay, so my kind of maybe roughly in the in line of the leg of the chair. So what I'm doing, I'm still trying to sit on the chair. I'm not turning my body. Okay, all I'm doing is that I'm sit, just have one butt cheek kind of on the chair. Okay, so from the front, okay, so you can. I'm still trying to stand a little off to the side. Okay, 1 foot slightly back. Okay, I'm trying to just get my left butt cheek on the chair. Okay, so you can sit on it if you want to, or you can cover as well. Okay, and send it back. Okay, so same rules apply. My left knee, so that's the one in front, is still tracking over my foot. Okay, so I have to go back a little bit, maybe. So. Okay, and you don't have to go down as low either, but the goal is to be able to kind of reach the chair and a bit lightly touch. Okay, and coming up. So what you find is that one leg has to work a lot harder. Okay, so once again, this is a little bit more challenging. Okay, so if you find you can stick back to the two-legged version if you want, or the symmetrical version. Okay, but it should look almost exactly the same as if I'm doing. This is two-legged version. Okay, this is the almost like 1.5 leg version. Okay, so you find one leg has to work a lot harder. Remember the alignment. Okay, once again, just 6 to 15 times. If you look on the side like this, I'm still sticking my bum back and bringing my leg up. Okay, so still feeling the thighs, okay, but just one leg has to work a little bit harder this time. Okay, so once again, you don't have to do this version. You can just do the symmetrical version. Okay, but this will be a little more difficult. Okay, and you can always have a chair in front to balance for support. Okay, and when you're ready, just repeat. You can do the same thing on the other side. You can repeat the symmetrical one, or you can take a break. Okay, so I'm going to do the other leg. So once again, I'm sliding a little bit out to the side. Put my leg roughly just in line with the leg of the chair or slightly behind. And I'm just sitting there and sending back up. So I'm using the inside leg a little bit more. Okay, once again, pay attention to what your hips are doing. Some people naturally kind of shift to one side. We don't need to do that. Okay, so try to see if you maintain alignment, especially between your knees over your toes. Okay, and the other leg can still help a little bit, because so it's not just a single leg. The leg on the back can still help you to push yourself back up. Once again, just 6 to 15 times. Okay, and when you're done, just shake it off. Okay, so it's pretty much when we talk about knee health, we're looking at, of course, the strength for your muscles, but sometimes more important is the alignment of your knees. Okay, so be able to keep my knees roughly over my foot, and then my hips is also in line with my body. That is important as well. Okay, so that's the leg. Okay, let's repeat one more time with arms. Okay, so exact same thing. You can make the band a little shorter or longer, depending on how it felt for you. If you have 2 dumbbells or 2 bands, feel free to do it both sides at the same time if you want as well. Okay, but still tall and a little bit wider. So. Okay, and once again, go as far as your shoulder allows. Okay, just pay attention to what the rest of your body is doing. Okay, and stop when you feel like you can. And most do 2 to 3 more repetitions. Okay, so it doesn't have to be the same number as me, what I'm doing. It could be more, could be less. Okay, shifting arms. Take a breath in and out. Okay, usually if we're switching sides or we're switching parts of the body, you can have a kind of a less rest. Okay, but if you're doing the same muscle, you might have to take a little bit longer rest in between. Okay, so kind of just pay attention to how you feel. Okay, once again, same reminder, taller, wider. Okay, I'm just kind of zooming out of this, just so my body, rest of the body is kind of still. And once again, just keep breathing in and out. Okay, you could be breathing in as you reach up. Okay, it could be the opposite. Okay, as long as you're not holding your breath, it's fine. Okay, and once again, we don't have to go on to failure, which just means we cannot even do a single one. We can leave what we call it maybe 2 to 3 left in the tank. Okay, that's a good place to stop. Okay, so let's put the band down. Okay, so that was the what we call compound movements, which means we use a little bit more muscle at the same time. Even though, so the first one is primarily leg, but we do use the rest of the kind of hip muscles, shoulders. The one pressing primarily the shoulders, but still a little bit of the tricep and the surrounding muscles as well. Okay, and the next part, we're just going to isolate 1 or 2 muscles, okay, just so we can strengthen that part. Okay, so this one we mostly just need 1 chip. Okay, so we talked about alignment before. Okay, so that's the knee. Okay, so the knee, if you feel right, there's not much muscle right around the knee joint. So what controls the knee is actually just the hip muscles and also kind of the ankle muscle as well. Okay, so the one thing that controls our side-to-side movement in the knee is the hip. Okay, so a lot of times we do need to strengthen the hip muscles, especially the side. Okay, so what we're going to do is just we are going to be have a chair on one side or in front, as long as enough space around on the side of one leg. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay, we're going to have one leg slightly out first. Okay, and your toes, try to see if you can point it forward. Okay, or even almost towards the ground. Okay, so this will be pointing kind of out or upwards. Okay, I want you to point the leg rotating leg, so it's kind of your toes are pointing forward, or even you can exaggerate if you want to a little bit inwards. Okay, and all we're going to do is just going to lift the leg up. Okay, while keeping the toes kind of pointing forward or even slightly downwards. Okay, and you should feel in the side of your hip muscles. Okay, and you can kind of put it back there. Okay, so we're just trying to do a hip lift, okay, and also pay attention to where you're lifting it, okay, so we're not lifting it forward, okay, so this will be forward. You can feel the muscle at the front of your thighs engaging when you do this, okay, you feel it kind of right, kind of beside the bone almost, around a bit lower, okay, and just lifting it up, toes pointed forward or slightly down. Okay, and you're not trying to, don't worry about lifting it too high up, so I don't want you to kind of lift it this way. Okay, I just want you to keep body count still, okay, and just feel the muscle on the side of the hip as you lift up. You can pause a little bit at your limit. Okay, once again, we're aiming for 6 to 15 times. Okay, until you feel like I can at most do 2 to 3 times. Okay, both hips is going to be a little time. Okay, but important thing, try to point your toes forward or leave it slightly down. Okay, and when you're done one side, shake it off. Okay, so that's the same muscle that kind of controls where our knees go. Okay, control our single leg balance. Okay, so this one, because we kind of work both sides, we might need a little bit longer of a break in between. Okay, so in between, you can kind of walk it off a little bit. You know, practice the breathing. You can do something else. Okay, so instead of what we're going to do instead is we're going to alternate between the upper and lower body as well. Okay, so that just helps us to save a little bit more time. So we're still going to focus on the shoulders, but instead of pressing at this angle, we're going to lift it out to the side like this. Okay, so we're going to have the band kind of same position still on the ground like this. Okay, all the same as the leg. Okay, we are going to lift it out to the side. Okay, so a little different angle before when you're pressing, if I straighten my arms, is roughly kind of maybe 45 degrees. At this time, we're trying to lift it out to the side, okay, because our shoulder muscles have kind of different parts. We're going to just focus more on the side. Okay, so once again, tall, a little wider. Okay, you can hold on to something on the other side. Okay, and okay, just a little bit off the side, not as high as before. Okay, and more shoulder height level. Okay, but this time, so once again, don't worry about how high you're going. So I don't want you to compensate by doing something like this. Okay, all I want is kind of roughly a little high up. You can feel your muscles working. Okay, you don't have to overstrain it. Okay, but kind of feel which part of the muscle you're working. Okay, once again, try to lift it maybe a little bit off to the side this time. Okay, instead of forward. Okay, just a little more off to the side. Kind of like what we do on the legs. Okay, once again, don't hold your breath. Okay, and slowly up, slowly down. Okay, once again, just go to your own limits. Okay, so I can probably at most, if I ask yourself now, maybe I can do maybe 4 more. Okay, so I'm just going to go to 2 more reps. Okay, if you find yourself, you have to start, sometimes some people call it cheating by doing something like this. Okay, then it's probably a good time to stop. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, so we are going to be still alternating between upper and lower body. Okay, just so that we can give each part a little bit more break, just a little more efficient use of time. Okay, but still feel free to rest as long as you need to. Okay, so once again, clear some space beside the leg that you're going to lift. Okay, once again, we're trying to lift the leg kind of straight out to the side. Okay, just pay attention if the leg is not kind of somewhat diagonal. Try to go a little off to the side, really straight out to the side. Toes, once again, is kind of pointing more straight forward or even slightly towards the floor. Okay, so once again, okay, toes pointing forward. Okay, feeling the muscles on the side, really on the side of the hips. Once again, just go as high as you feel comfortable. Okay, no need to think about it. The goal is not to lift it up as high as we can. Okay, the goal is just to feel kind of right muscles working. It's a little bit different than if you're kicking forward or kicking to the side. To the side, if you take it backwards, you're going to feel more in the big part of your butt. Whereas this one, you feel really more on the side of your hips. It kind of on both sides. Okay, if you want to make this more difficult, you can just pause a little longer at the top. Okay, or we're trying to lift it up a little bit higher up. Okay, but once again, go to your own intensity. Okay, go by how you feel. Okay, checking out. Okay, I'm going to let more people in. Okay, so while our lower body is kind of taking on the arms. Okay, more or less the same movement. Okay, we're still putting leg one end on the floor. Okay, we're still trying to lift it out to the side like we're doing with the legs. Okay, same reminder, taller, a little bit wider at the shoulders. Okay, and once again, don't hold your breath as you lift your arms up. Your thumb can either be pointing straight forward, or you can also point your thumb towards the ceiling as well. Okay, so both works. Depends on which one more comfortable for you. Okay, so just at your own pace. Okay, and more shoulder height. Okay, pay attention to what the rest of your body is doing. Okay, once again, the goal is not to lift it as high as you can. Okay, the goal is just to work the shoulder muscles. Okay, so this is as high as you can comfortably feel comfortable. That's great. If and most maybe just the shoulder height just for safety. Sometimes too high can be a little hard on the shoulders. So at most shoulder height. Okay, so once again, ask yourself, how many more times can I do this? Okay. Okay, if the answer is you can do this all day, the band is a little too light for you. Okay, if you feel like you can at most do 2 to 3 more, that's a good time to stop. Once again, shake things off, rest as long as you need to. Okay, so these two just really focus on the shoulder muscles, really focus on hip muscles. So it's going to feel a little bit more sore on the muscle itself. Whereas the other one, you have to have more control of your body. Okay, so we still have to do, we've only done like one set of each of these exercises. So when you feel ready, let's repeat these exercises one more time. Okay, so once again, rest long as you need to. Okay, and once again, kicking straight out to the side, toes kind of pointing forward, feeling the muscle in the side of the hips. Okay, if your balance is good, if you want to, you can kind of make this a little bit of a balance, challenge your balance as well. Okay, you don't have to, okay, but you can. Okay, and once again, doesn't mean always completely letting go. It could be lightly touching the chair with your fingers. Okay, it could mean kind of tapping the chair. Okay, so this one, your lower leg, your calves, as your foot has to work a little harder to maintain balance, so that actually the stamina might become more tight if you're not holding the chair. Okay, so shake things off. Okay, feel free to take a break at any point. Okay, so I can feel myself getting a little bit more tired. So I might choose to take a little bit longer of a break. The goal is to still maintain the right intensity as we're lifting. Okay, so if you're so tired that you can just even barely lift it 2 times, that's not really helpful. Okay, so it's just, if you feel like that way, you just might have to take a little longer rest. Okay, but if you feel okay, you can always just go your own pace. Okay, and continue. Okay, same movement. Okay, control on the way up, control on the way down. Okay, and we're still trying to focus on lifting a little more to the side this time. Primarily everyday life, we can't work somewhere in the front in this area. Okay, we're just going to focus a little bit more little bit off to the side. You might not be able to lift it as high. That's okay. As long as you can feel the muscle efforts around the shoulders. Okay, and you might not be able to lift the same number of times as the first round, okay, because your shoulders may be a little more tight by now. Okay, last 2 sets. Okay, so once to the hips, okay, and then the arm one more time. Okay, so take as long as you need to. Just whenever you feel ready, and you feel that you can put in a moderate effort, okay, then we can repeat on our side. Once again, kind of make sure your leg is kind of out to the side and not forward. Okay, and your toes is kind of pointing not upwards, but more in front of you. Okay, if you want to make this a little harder, you kind of always pause a little bit at your limit. Okay, so once again, 6 to 15 times, or until you feel like you can involve, do 2 to 3 more repetitions. Okay. Yeah, Stella, I can send you my email. I can type my email out afterwards as well. Okay, so we can just repeat just the last set, and then I'll type it out. Okay, so still taller, wider. Okay, so there's some people might ask, what is the difference between doing this standing up and sitting there? Technically, it's actually less loading on your back, on your spine, if you're doing this standing up. When you're sitting, there's more loading on the spine, on the vertebrae itself. So some people think you're standing up, it's actually harder than back, but it's actually less pressure on your spine. So, for some people, standing up might actually be a little bit better for the back. Okay, but you can do the sitting down and standing up in terms of working the shoulder muscle. Okay, so but still tall spine, wider back, okay, and just your round shoulder level. Okay, pay attention to the angle of your arm as well. So we're trying to lift it out more to the side, less so kind of forward. Okay, and also doesn't mean we're turning our body as well. So I'm still kind of relatively facing forward. Okay, I'm just trying to lift it out to the side. Okay, by this point, you might feel your back, it might be has a little bit of feeling of tensioning up. Okay, because we are doing this on a single side, your back has to stabilize your body pretty much, because it's not only pulling your arm down, it's also pulling your body down as well. And your back muscle has to tighten up to keep our body kind of straight, in a straight line. Okay, and when you're done, shake this off. Let me check the time. Okay, so good. Okay, so let me just type out the email. So my email is just kenneth.lo@carefirst.ontario.ca. Okay, so if anybody wants to talk to me up, you can always send me an email. Okay, so let's just stretch out the muscle we use. Okay, so we start off from maybe we can sit down first. Just to give our back a little bit of rest. Okay, and also like a little bit of rest. Okay, so we grab a lot of things. Okay, let's stretch out the forearm a little bit more. Okay, so we do our usual. Okay, so that's the kind of look in the mirror, look in your palm rather. Okay, palm to palm. Okay, and you're just trying to pull your fingers down and straighten out your elbows. Okay, feeling the stretch somewhere on the forearm. If you want, if you're a little more flexible, you can use a chair to help you, okay, but you don't have to. Okay, and once again, just focus on your deep breathing at this point. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, so the reason why personally I like to use the chair is because I can use my other hand to straighten out my fingers a little bit as well, because I do rock climbing as well, and my fingers get pretty tight. Okay, so I just like to kind of make sure my fingers are straight, a little bit straight as well. Okay, but just go to your own ability as usual. Okay, and slowly come back out. Okay, when you're ready, you can do the same thing outside. Okay, so still look in the palm, palm to palm. Okay, pull your fingers towards yourself, push your palms down, wrist forward. Okay, once again, you can use try to help if you want to. Okay, as long as you can feel kind of stretch in front, a little bit of stretch in the palm area, that's good. Okay, and a little bit tight on my left. Check things out. Okay, let's do the same thing, but on the opposite side. Okay, so we're just gonna put the palm on the knuckles on the opposite side. Okay, if you can slightly also close your fingers as well. Okay, and all you're gonna do is gonna stretch straight out your elbows while pulling your kind of your fingers towards yourself. Okay, and this time just feel it on the back of the forearm instead of the, I guess, the front. If you have your fingers closed, it becomes a little bit tighter on the back of the hand. Okay, and so we're coming up, shake things off if you need to. Okay, and when you're ready, it's just the same thing outside. So I'm still just closing my hand around my knuckles. Okay, and I'm just straightening out the elbows while pulling my fingers towards myself. Okay, and so come back out. Okay, so shoulders, just the classic shoulder stretch. So still across, wrap your other arm around underneath, and try to pull your arm a little bit closer to your chest. You try to take a deep breath in for the nose, out for the mouth. And when you're ready, just shut things off. Okay, and repeat on the other side when you feel ready. Okay, so for lower body, we're going to do this one standing up. Okay, so we roughly this one before already. That's the one where you push the hips out. Okay, so you can either hold on the chair or like a wall or something like that. Okay, so whatever side has a support, we let's call this the inside. Okay, and this will be the outside. Okay, so the inside leg, you're going to step up. Back. Okay, so inside leg, the side of the support, you're going to bring your leg forward, or you can even off to a little bit off to the side. Okay, and you're just going to push the hips out to the side. Okay, so there's the outside hips. Okay, and you can come move your hips maybe back and forth a little bit until you feel a little bit of a stretch on the side of the hips. Sometimes I like to cross our leg if you feel comfortable. Okay, but just feel this little bit of a stretch on the side. You can have maybe move a little closer to the wall. So if you feel like it's more, you feel more comfortable with this way, just so you know you have something to support you if you move that way too much, or if you fall, I guess fall that way. Okay, and so I come back and we can repeat on the other side. Okay, so same idea, you can move the chair around if you want to, or you can just switch to the, so I'm going to use the wall in this case. Okay, so the side of support is the inside. Okay, so I'm going to move my inside leg a little bit off to the front. Okay, and then I'm just going to push my hips to the outside until you feel a stretch on the side. Okay, once again, use as much support as you need to. Okay, once again, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, don't force yourself to do it either. Okay, deep breath in and out. You can always, once again, move your hips forward and back just to find the area where you might be a little more tense in. Okay, and slowly come back. Okay, so next one is still the thigh stretch. So that one does require a little bit more single leg balance. Okay, so once again, go to your own ability. But that's the one where you grab the ankles. Okay, once again, try to bring the front of your hips up first, okay, before trying to push the knees down. So from the side, we're not trying to stretch our back. So bring the front of our hips, our pelvis up, okay, and then try to reach your knee towards the ground. Okay, feeling the stretch and then thigh muscle. Okay, and when you're ready, you can repeat on the other side. Once again, use as much support as you need to. So even if you feel like you need to be beside like a wall or something like that, you can. Okay, on the chair on the other side. Okay, once again, be careful you're not arching your back. Okay, so front of your pelvis up, and then try to reach your knee, point your knee down. If it's too tight, you can always, if you're wearing long pants, you can always grab your pants instead. Okay, just give me a note. Okay, let's take a couple of deep breaths in and out. So, okay, so almost pay attention to where you still maybe a little tense in. Okay, try to let go of those areas. Okay, so learn to tense up when we need to be tense. Okay, also learn to relax when we don't need to be. Okay, still pay attention to what your posture is doing. Okay, so still think a little bit taller, a little bit wider, okay, but still be able to take a breath, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay, and that's all the time we have for today.